Good afternoon, Army people out there in YouTube land. It's your buddy Choppadong. I am coming at you with not quite a complete, hyper simple breakdown today. Been caught up doing a lot of things behind the scenes with a lot of changes that are getting ready to come to dfsarmy.com. So if you don't know me and you don't know where to find me, I'm out here on Twitter at Choppadong, and I'm also a coach, content, and editor, whatever you want to call it, always doing something behind the scenes at dfsarmy.com. The one-stop shop for all things daily fantasy sports. From MMA to PGA, we really do focus on building lineups to make you a better player, teaching you how we do what we do that provides the track record of success that we've generated over the past few years, and hoping that you do the same thing if you plug in and just follow our systems, plug into a coach, talk to a coach, get a lot of help in improving your game, whatever sport it is that you play. So you can always find me in there too. Every once in a while I start to come back out here on YouTube. I've been writing some articles lately and doing various things to help the website out. But today we want to dive into pitching. It's a huge slate. There's no way to cover it all, but we can at least narrow down some of the pitchings. And let me at least show you a simple way to break down pitching quickly. You only need to look at a few key metrics. Everybody likes to look at all these fancy stats, and baseball has them all for you. There's no doubt about it. But really and truly, if you can find a few key metrics that make sense to you, then you just kind of stack them up, and however many rankings you want to put together of all the pitchers and order them in however you want to order them. And let's say you had 5 things you looked at, and one guy's on all 5 lists and he's near the top. Guess what? He's a strong play. And when you get a second or a third strong play too, in a lot of cases, you're splitting hairs between those few guys at that point. And it's really kind of a crapshoot as to whether or not who has the better night. They're all in good spots. They're all going to be good pitchers or hitters, and they're all going to pretty much have good nights, give or take. And again, we want to emphasize it's a marathon, not a sprint. This isn't something where you're analyzing day to day to day. Oh, crud, this didn't work last night, so I need to completely tear down my system and completely build it over again. If you've ever watched a guy smash a ball into the wind that falls on the warning track that would have been a grand slam, and you got 0 points for what should have been 30 some odd points, you'll realize how much randomness is to this game, because in some cases that's 12 to 15% of your final score on that one swing of the bat that the Manny Machado guys got last night that the rest of us that didn't have him didn't get. So there's a lot of that involved in this game from day to day. So what you really want to do is watch your stats over a couple of weeks or a month. I've told several VIPs today alone that when I make a change to my process, I don't touch anything for about 2 weeks because I want to see how it's going to pan out. And even that is probably getting a little too itchy on the trigger finger because you just don't get a very large sample size. If you don't believe in a 20 at-bat BVP sample size, why do you take 20 slates as a good enough sample size for yourself? Doesn't make any sense. So let's stay consistent, and let's stay with a consistent process on top of it all. I don't want to dive into the research station too much today, but I will show you this is where I get most of these numbers from. The boys have created a sexy little section for me called Chop Shop, where we do cover K-score and W-score. K-score is strikeout potential. W-score is batting potential, team related. If you wanted to look at K-score, you want high numbers for your pitchers. You want W-score, you want low numbers for your pitchers, because that means they're facing weaker offenses with better stuff themselves. So what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and create a checklist very, very simply that walks through the slate as quickly as possible and puts us on some decent pitchers. And we're going to do that right now. When I look at the pitchers, these are the basic guys. I organized that research station by K-score, top to bottom. And then I started writing these guys down. In dark green is my choice of the day. In light green are my other options. The other guys, they're all fine. They're playable. Some of these guys might have the best night of the night, and my guys might be terrible. I don't know how it's going to pan out. But I know that using this method of looking at salary, Vegas odds, and K-score typically leads to good results. Okay, and I'm just trying to find the best bang for the buck. I don't want to pay 11.5 for Strasburg any more than you do. I love finding guys in the 8.1 to 8.6 range like Fried and Rodriguez down there at the bottom, and I will always gravitate towards those guys, but not when I can find one that's better. Sometimes they just scream off the page at you, and tonight we've got 15 games, so we've got about 30 options from which to pick. We're going to have half a dozen options or more that are fairly elite. That's just the way it goes. If I start off with Strasburg, who had the highest K score on the day of 555, I'm looking at 11,500 for his salary, minus 270 Vegas odds, which are very strong K score, and a pretty good W score. You know, if over 500 is great for K score, under 500 should probably be good for W score. He's limiting the damage that gets done against him. W is WOBA. So, you know, around that 400 metric, you're not going to find anything under a 400 very often, but you know, low compared to what the slate offers us is a good thing. And I haven't used this very much in what I'm doing, but we're going to drive through here and we're going to figure this out here in the next 5 minutes. 11.5, 270, 555. Okay, let's see if we can find something cheaper that's comparable because we'd like to save money. There's one 11,000 for Snell, 270 is the same Vegas odds, 536 is not giving up much, but a 404 is significantly stronger than a 450, so I can immediately go to Snell and I can disregard Strasburg. Does that mean Snell's going to do better than Strasburg? Nope. It means that over time, this price for Snell should be better than the price for Strasburg. Might not work on any given night. Ryu 11.2, minus 230, a little worse Vegas odds, a little lower K score, a little higher W score. Don't need them. Unless I wanted to do some contrarian stuff where I just thought it was bobblehead day or something and Ryu was going to have the game of his life, I would rather take Snell. Paddock 9,800, 160 odds, strong, not as good as these, but strong. 531 K score, right up here with the top of the leaderboard. So that's already, what, almost a $1,500 savings. 422 W score is lower than all but Snell. So when I look at him compared to Snell, I see $1,200, $1,300, right? In a price difference, I see a significant drop in Vegas odds. But I see similar K score and a somewhat similar. Yes, he's a little lower here and he's a little higher here, like he should be. But he's also $2,000 cheaper. Well, $1,000, $1,200 cheaper. I might want to take that $1,200 and spend it on bats. So I'm fine with that. Then I come down here a little bit more, 9,300 to be Castillo, minus 120. 471, too big of a drop for me. 460 goes up in the W score, so probably off there, right? I'm not going to, it's not worth $500 for me. Now, if he was $6,800, of course, I'd take that. I would take that savings because the savings becomes worth more to me than the numbers that I'm sacrificing because the savings is so significant. But when the savings is not significant, then I'll take the stronger numbers. 9,000, 9,200 for Tanaka, 170 is better, but the 480 is still 50 points worse. It's significantly worse, and the W score is 60 points higher. So no, these numbers are telling me that $600 is not worth gambling on. 9,000, $800 difference. Now we're getting somewhere with the price. 130 up, a little bit lower Vegas odds, lower K score, a little bit higher W score. I mean, which is somewhat to be expected, but it's significant enough to me that I don't want that. I'll find the bats for that $800. I'll pay up. Right? I don't necessarily want to pay up all the way, but if I did, it would be here with Snell. But right now, I'm still stuck on Paddock. I come down to 8,600 for Fried. 160 and 160 is the same, so I'm $1,200 cheaper again. 472, that's 60 points. 440, that's 20 points higher in W score. I don't know. I could be convinced to take a Fried for the savings if I needed it. But then I look down here at Erod, 8,100. Better Vegas odds, better K score, similar W score, boom, I'd automatically take the extra $500. So that's why I rank them 1 and then probably, 2 and 2A. But now if I looked at Snell and Rodriguez, the 270 to the 180 is, fairly significant. 530 to 490 is not terrible, but pretty, it is significant. 400 to 450 is significant. So, but is it $3,000 significant? I don't know. I can call that a coin flip, and I can go build my lineups around a stack and then take Snell if I've got the money or take Rodriguez if I don't and not worry. I'm not saying Rodriguez and Snell are the same pitcher. I'm saying dollar for dollar, their matchups suggest they should be pretty close. But I do think Paddock is the better pitcher tonight. That's just how I'm going to do it. I'm going to break these down. These are the 3 pitchers you'll find in my lineups. You won't find any of the others unless something really weird changes my mind. And you're not going to convince me that my way is the best. You're not going to convince me that my way is the worst. I'm going to tell you that over the course of 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or a month, you're going to land on some pretty darn good plays this way, and you're going to save some money in doing it. If this type of stuff appeals to you, you need to become a member at dfsarmy.com. You need to pick our brains and figure out how we come up with these ideas and these concepts that lead us in the directions that we go. And you do that by going to dfsarmy.com. Down there in the comment section, you click the link. Obviously, you use the coupon code CHOP, C-H-O-P, trigger that 20% off discount. Ring the notification bell down there, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, let me know that you like the content, and we'll come back with more of it every once in a while. You guys, I really appreciate it as always. We've been, 10 minutes, and you've got your pitchers for the night. On Fanduel, anyway. On DraftKings, boy, you're out on your own. Our learning league that we do every single week is going to start flip-flopping back and forth between FanDuel and DraftKings. This is a FanDuel week. Next week will be a DraftKings week, so most of my videos will be DraftKings-centric next week. So come on back and see me then. Hopefully retweet me out there on Twitter, share me on social media. Help spread the love, and I will help you guys build better lineups. Take care.